In boxing, it pays to kind of be a little bit intimidating. And we all know that, the most intimidating boxer of all time, and probably one of the most intimidating, you know, humans to ever exist is Mike Tyson, which is why he's not gonna be on this list, man. We're gonna talk about, you know, besides Mike Tyson, of course, the five most intimidating boxers of all time. Let's go. But before we start this list, let me say that it's not in order. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can rank them in the comments below. But for me, at number one, we got the Fifth Ward native, H-Town stand up, George Foreman, known as Big George, and for good reason. The former gold medalist would strike fear in many of his opponents, especially in his younger years, as he was known to destroy heavy bags and boxers alike. Foreman would start his pro career in 1969, amassing 11 knockouts in that year alone. He would go on destroying the heavyweight division over the years, and in 1971, he would have a record of 32-0 with 29 knockouts, putting him in line for a heavyweight title shot as long as he kept knocking boys out. And he would do that, gaining a couple more wins to bring him to 37-0 with 34 knockouts. And that would set him up for his first title shot against no other than Smoking Joe Frazier. Going into this fight as an underdog, Foreman would take that personally and knock Frazier down numerous times, 6 to be exact, spawning the famous "Down Goes Frazier" line from Howard Cosell. Down goes Frazier! Down goes! But after some adversity in his career and a couple of losses, George would actually show that he was a pretty nice guy despite being hated in the way that somebody like Sonny Liston was in the early stages of his career. But George would win over the hearts of fans everywhere when at 45 years old, he would win the heavyweight title once again in a miraculous comeback. At number two, we got another heavyweight, Ernie Shavers. Known as the Black Destroyer, Ernie is regarded as one of, if not the hardest punchers ever.
Yeah, man. Stronger Joe Frazier and George Foreman. He hit hard.
Starting his boxing career kind of late at 22 years old, Ernie would have a short but impactful amateur career winning the 1969 AAU title. After winning 44 of his first 47 fights by knockout, and the other 3 fights being a decision win and 2 losses, Shavers would join Don King's stable of fighters, and this would prove to be a good career decision, which, because it would allow him to have fights against people like Larry Holmes, Ali, and Ken Norton. Shavers would finish his career with 70 knockouts and 76 wins. And with 52 of those being in the first 3 rounds, Ernie would go down as one of the scariest boxers ever. At number 3, we have Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Being born in the now defunct Soviet Union, Triple G's early life was far from easy, with 2 of his brothers dying while in service for the Soviet Army. But despite that, he would have a stellar amateur career, winning a couple of gold medals on his way to being known as what I like to call a Punisher. Pause. Now you might be thinking, what is a Punisher? Well, I'm going to tell you. A Punisher is someone who does the dirty work on the way to slowly breaking down their opponent, i.e. body punching, pressure, and cutting off the ring. Other examples of this include Errol Spence and Terry Norris. But back to Triple G. As he would go on in his pro career, he would become probably the most avoided fighter in boxing at that time, because I guess people were scared of getting slowly destroyed by, constant pressure and body punching. But some people would actually have to face him, and through that he would become the unified middleweight champion. But after a couple controversial fights with Canelo, he seems to be done with boxing, full-time at least. At number 4, we got Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and he's on this list pretty much for the sole reason that it took him like 40 fights to even get his first title shot. And even after that, some people Sugar Ray Leonard took to doing left-handed tactics to either completely avoid fighting him or try to screw him in some sort of way. And don't even get me started on some of those decisions by the judges, because we're gonna be here all day. But all the boxing purists and diehard fans know Hagler as one of the greatest fighters in history, despite being kind of blackballed. But the good part about his story is that he lived on his terms, unlike some of the other greats in boxing. So I guess it all worked out. Side note, I don't know if this is true or not, but his head is kind of like a cheat code for him, because look how it's shaped. And the last person on my list is someone you might not expect, but when I explain my reasoning, you might understand. Last but not least on this list, we got Marcos Maidana. And I know this might not be a popular choice, but if you've ever seen one of his fights, you will know that when he gets knocked down, it's like the switch would flip in his head and he would get a boost to his power level like Goku would when he would do the Kaioken. Fighting someone like this had to have been kind of scary because it's like I just hit him with my best shot and knocked him down. But it's like that just made him even more angry and ferocious. And some people learned that the hard way. And after fighting some of the top prospects of his time, like Adrian Broner and Victor Ortiz, and almost beating Floyd Mayweather, Marcos will retire on his own terms and is definitely enjoying his time away from boxing, as you can see. And that concludes another video. Leave, comments, suggestions, and thoughts and all that there, and what I'm saying, in the comment section. Let me know if I missed anybody and all that there. And I'm out.